Marwa. And so from that, I could feel that Marwa saying, how can you now let me get arrested when I made sure to even stop your husband being arrested? Yeah, what would you let husband think? Would your red husband think? He was saying our...
After watching that video of Passy, it is now time to dive deep to the entire discussion. In the latest video of Passy, Passy explains why she chose to make peace with Seno. She says Seno reminded her of the friendship he had with the late husband and recalled a past incident where, according to her account, Seno helped her husband during a difficult period involving the police, and the claim is that Passy was married when she was 16 years and the police were looking for the husband to arrest the husband. Passy says those memories influenced her decision to reconcile. Viewers have reacted differently. Some see these as genuine attempt of reconciliation, while others believe that emotional memories played a significant role in changing the conversation. Ultimately, viewers can decide for themselves how they interpret the interaction. A very good morning, beautiful people, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another reaction video in this amazing YouTube channel that goes by the name Maxwell Lumumba Africa. For those who are coming across this YouTube channel for the first time, I do reaction videos, especially to the videos that have been posted in public domain. Like today, I'm going to discuss about emotional manipulation, where Passy explains why she made peace with Seno, but does it change the river access dispute? Ladies and gentlemen, for those who are not subscribed to this amazing YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, and share this video to other individuals. Remember to turn on the notification bell so that any day, anytime I post any video, you people get updated. Watch my videos from the beginning up to the end without skipping those ads that you see there. Show love to this YouTube channel. Let us continue liking all my videos. Having said that, let us also support my other YouTube channel that act as a backup YouTube channel. When one morning you wake up, then you get that Maxwell Lumumba Africa YouTube channel does not exist. You get me in vibe with the Lumumba YouTube channel. Let us go subscribe to that YouTube channel because I'm creating amazing content on that end. For those who like to see my tiny house, you'll just see it in that YouTube channel. For those who want to see how African Thomas went to school yesterday, there is where I've updated us on how African Thomas went to school, what is the expectation and the way forward. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, today we have another major update in the Seno and Passy story. If you have been following this issue from the beginning, you know it has gone through many twists and many turns. What started as a disagreement over river access developed into public videos, reaction from viewers, reports from administrative involvement, and discussions about a community meeting. Many people expected the next chapter to be a formal meeting with the local authorities. Instead, a new video has emerged showing Passy explaining why she has decided to make peace with Seno. Naturally, that has sparked strong reactions online. Some viewers believe that this shows that reconciliation is possible and that neighbors should always try to talk before the conflict becomes bigger. Others believe that personal reconciliation does not necessarily answer the broader question that have been raised about land, access to the river, or any administrative process that may already be underway. Today, I want us to examine what Passy said, what Seno said, and what this meeting could mean. I also want to discuss the difference between two neighbors resolving personal differences and an official administrative process, because those are not always the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, let us start from Passy's explanation. In the latest video, Passy explains why she changed her approach. According to her account, Seno went to her home and Seno reminded her about the friendship he shared with her late husband. She recalls a past incident in which, according to her, Seno helped her husband during a difficult period involving the police. She says those memories affected how she felt during the conversation. There is one thing that I usually tell my subscribers. Senos know how to emotionally manipulate individuals. Look at what he has done to Passy, because Passy was in the verge of arresting Seno. So Seno did what he had to do so as to manipulate Passy emotionally, reminding Passy that, look, me and your husband, we were very good friends. There is a time when your husband was on the verge of being arrested because he married you when you were underage, that is 16 years. Then police were looking for your husband. Seno, I came to rescue your husband, and your husband wasn't arrested. When we look at that claim on the mirror, it looks like a very good claim, but let us reflect back to the society. When we come on camera and tell people that let us not encourage tender marriages, let us not encourage people being married at very younger age, what do we see right now? Seno himself has facilitated that, because when the police were looking for the husband to arrest the husband, Seno came to the rescue of the husband simply because the husband wanted to get with this colleague. The husband wanted to get arrested because of marrying an underage girl. This shows us the kind of Seno off camera, and that's the reality. Yeah, so this tells us that Seno himself embraces child abuse, tender age marriages, and that is the reality of the discussion that we can see. Even though we see Passy trying to defend Seno on the one side, but the reality, Seno ended up ruining the life of her. She even brings in issues about her having child with a Seno, of which it is a claim that has been there in this YouTube street. So she came to clear out, why do you find yourself so guilty? Why do you explain to people that this is what you people are saying, but this is not the reality? If you know very well you never had any child with Seno, why do you keep on explaining yourself? Yeah, it shouldn't even bother about you, because if those things were said, let them be said. And whether viewers agree with her decision or not, it is clear that his personal history played an important role in why she chose to speak with Seno. People watching the video have interpreted this differently. Some believe it shows the importance of remembering long-standing relationship. Others think it raises questions about whether personal history and history should influence how current disagreements are handled. Let me remind Passy this. You have looked and you have done a recap about the good side of Seno, but you have not done a recap about the bad side of Seno again. If you do about that, you will regret what you have done. I tried looking at the comment section. I've seen a lot of opinions, and viewers will naturally have different perspective. I've seen an individual saying that I'm going to unsubscribe from your channel because you have two faces. One thing that I observed with these subscribers of ours, they need somebody who has only one face. You choose to be Team Kenge or you opt not to be in that team. Choose one. When you are just like confused, you don't know which team you are in. And that is why we see the likes of my good friend who actually said one thing today, the next day he was there protecting the same family. The next morning you come back and say that these people were called by this family to affect my credibility on how I'm doing my thing. Then you change your stand, then you tell your subscriber that I'm back to reaction. That one never works in these YouTube streams. Even though we have seen some reactors who those days they were talking bad about the same family. Nowadays they're speaking good about the same families, trying to protect them. Even there is a time where he spoke something about Devina, and Devina went for him. Devina actually cautioned him that you behave like you're protecting our family and you are here like a snake. So this tells us that in these YouTube streets, you are supposed to take your foot on only one stand. That shows if you want to grow when it comes to reaction or a YouTube channel, have one stand and never look back. Once you look back, that is the end of you. Ladies and gentlemen, people already have started reacting to Passy because of the stand she's having. A lot of supporters now have told her, I'm quitting from supporting you because I don't like how you behave. I don't like the stand you're taking, because Seno pleaded to Passy because Seno knew that this issue was going to get him into problem. Let me say this. Look at what was happening. That was a strategically organized manner that was on the verge of taking Kenge down. Look at the way it was calculated. Today you see the DC. The DC calls a meeting to the community so that every individual has to attend to that meeting. Even while I'll be finishing this video for today, I'll be asking a lot of questions and I'll be responding to a lot of questions that I know people are asking about. If Kenge maybe never attended that meeting, what will happen? I'm going to say, let me just cancel this call, then I'll be calling the individual back. Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, one of my friend was calling me because I told him that let us talk. Actually, the individual told me that let us talk in the next 20 minutes. So I'll be calling the individual when I'm done with this video. Sorry for that. I know you'll be watching this video, but I'm sorry, yeah, because we agreed on that this morning. Yeah, so I know a lot of people will be asking those questions and I'll be responding to that. I saw a lot of people maybe saying that Kenge will be arrested if he fails to honor that. I'll be telling us what the law says and how everything is happening. And let me discuss about, does reconciliation end an official process? And that is the biggest questions. And asking is whether this meeting changes everything. The answer is, we don't know. If neighbors resolve a disagreement between themselves, that can certainly reduce tension. However, if administrative process is already underway because of border questions such as land boundaries, public access, or environmental concern, those processes may continue according to the applicable procedures. That is something for the relevant authorities to determine. If actually, in other words, a personal conversation can improve relationship, but it does not automatically determine the outcome of an official review. I came on camera and said this. Even though Passy met with the censor, that alone does not bring this case maybe to some tense or shift these everything, yeah? And that the take. If this case is about the state versus an individual, the case has to proceed. Remember, I came on camera and I told us that this case never started today, and Passy herself was not among the people who had this problem, and that's the reality. Yeah? So Passy was only engaged because the government required somebody who stays within the proximity of 100 meters. So as, let me just take a bottle of water, yeah. Actually, the proximity of 100 meters, that is why Passy was involved. But in reality, Passy does not play any impact when it comes to this case, and that is the reality about all these things, yeah. So Kenge can see that he has made a step to this case, but in reality there is no step that Kenge has made. From my perspective, one positive aspect of this development is that two people involved were able to sit down and talk. That is good, because Passy, she's a drama queen. Even for her, she wants to get life, yeah? If she thinks that this is the best route, if Turbo, I don't know Vanilla or what, told her to do that, well and good, we have no issues with that. Dialogue is often better than continued public confrontation. At the same time, public debate should not replace evidence. If there are questions about land records, access route, or environmental rules, those issues are usually addressed through official document and the relevant authorities rather than through social media alone. We are looking forward to attend to that meeting. That is why many viewers are still waiting to see what happens with the reported administrative meeting. And what I know, at the end of the day, a lot of things will be discussed and people will be asked a lot of questions. People will be told to give their own take, and that is what people are looking for. And let me say about regarding your legal questions, and I know a lot of people have asked me through phone calls, and I've texted in the comment section, can Seno be arrested because of that past story? This is based only on what we have described, not simply because Passy recounted that story. Whether any legal action should arise would depend on the fact, the applicable law at the time, and any investigation. A decade-old allegation alone does not automatically lead to arrest. People will be asking, if Passy comes on camera and says that she was married when she was very young and Seno helped the husband to get off those those traps of the police officers, can this case be again brought on camera? Let me say this, you know, Passy, she's not stupid. When you see Passy bringing these initial stories to this story, this means that Passy, she's up to something. I remember I told us, Passy, she's not to be trusted. She is very dramatic, and this one, when she brings in another another discussion about the evil doings of Kenge. That tells us a lot of things. So let us wait how this story will be taking turn. Then we'll be discussing into it the more it comes up. Again, other people have been asking, what if he does not attend meeting called by the Deputy County Commissioner, the DCC? Let me say this. Missing an administrative meeting does not automatically mean that somebody will be arrested. I've heard a lot of people saying that if he misses these, the DCC will be going to the compound so as to arrest him. Let me say this. The administration may reschedule, proceed without that person, or refer the matter to the appropriate authority depending on the nature of the dispute and their legal powers. And that is what will happen. And other people are asking, if a wall is found to be unlawful, could it be removed? Potentially, yes. If the relevant authorities, that is the NEMA and those other people, determine that a structure is unlawful, occupies public land, a road, reserve, or protected land, they may issue enforcement notice, and if legal requirements are met, orders its removal. And that's the thing, because Seno knows it very well. That bridge is illegal. The wall to the river is illegal. Denying passage of the community to the river is illegal. So that tells us that there is a likelihood these laws to take its shape. So others are asking, if someone builds on protected or riparian land, can it be demolished? Potentially, yes. Structures found to be unlawful occupied in protected riparian land have, in some cases, and we have seen history, I gave out examples even on how story buildings have been taken down within Nairobi, outside Nairobi, next to the rivers. And this tells us that being ordered removed by the relevant authority after due process, you don't just wake up one morning and authorize this wall has to be removed. There is a process that has to be followed. Whether that will happen in any specific case depends on the fact that people are really disturbing me with a lots of calls. They don't know I'm in my job place, seated, yeah. You know, sometimes when you're in your job place, they have to give you peace of mind. But I'm not going to pick any call until I'm done with this discussion. So whether that will happen in any specific case depends on the facts, surveys, applicable laws, and official decisions. So those are the questions that were asked and have responded to those questions. And let me say this story continues to evolve. Today we have seen a conversation that may improve the relationship between two neighbors. Whether it is also changes any border administrative question remains to be seen. As a viewer, it is important to distinguish between personal reconciliation and official process. This issue is all about official process. Both can happen at the same time, and one does not necessarily replace the other. Let me know, what do you think in the comment section? Do you think personal dialogue is enough to resolve dispute like this? Or do you think official process should still continue where broader community issues are involved? If you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. I will continue following this story and bring you updates as more informations become available. Let us stay tuned. Let us continue supporting this YouTube channel. Let us make it happen. Having said that, that brings us to the end of this discussion. Stay tuned. Today is on a Tuesday. Let us continue supporting all content creators. Let me end this discussion from this point. Goodbye. Enjoy your day. Be blessed.